The Galactic Assembly had convened in an atmosphere of unease. Representatives of hundreds of species sat in their crystalline chambers, their shimmering forms reflecting the grandeur of the assembly. For thousands of years, disputes were settled here through diplomacy and trade agreements, for war was a relic of a barbaric past, one which most species sought to leave behind. And then humanity arrived. When humanity made first contact, their ships were crewed by galactic standards, their technology decades behind even the most modestly advanced civilizations. Yet they advanced with alarming speed, learning and adapting faster than any species the Assembly had ever encountered. Within a century of joining the galactic community, humans had not only caught up but surpassed many in areas of military and scientific prowess. Despite their ascent, humanity remained largely peaceful, trading and cooperating with other species, until the Yxar Confederacy challenged them. The Yxar were one of the most ancient and powerful members of the Assembly, known for their arrogance and territorial greed. When humanity's exploratory fleets expanded into an unclaimed sector bordering Yxar space, the Confederacy laid claim to it, demanding the humans withdraw. Human diplomats sought a peaceful resolution, offering compromises and even sharing resources. But the Yxar saw this as weakness. They issued an ultimatum: surrender the sector entirely or face annihilation. To emphasize their threat, they destroyed a human research station, killing over 10,000 scientists and civilians. The Assembly had gathered to mediate, as was tradition, but the human delegation arrived with a different agenda. Standing in the center of the Grand Hall was Captain Elena Drake, chosen to represent humanity. She was a striking figure, her uniform crisp, her gaze sharp. She carried a small device, no larger than her hand, which she placed on the podium before speaking. Members of the Assembly, she began, her voice steady. Humanity has honored the principles of diplomacy since joining this august body. We have respected your customs, your laws, and your traditions. We have sought peace at every turn, even in the face of aggression. Her eyes locked onto the Yxar delegate, a towering creature with glistening black scales and an air of smug superiority. But peace cannot exist unilaterally. The hall erupted in murmurs. The Assembly was unaccustomed to such directness. Elena raised her hand, silencing the crowd. We proposed compromise. You responded with bloodshed. We sought dialogue. You answered with violence. And now, you demand our surrender? She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a deadly calm. Humanity does not surrender. The Yxar delegate hissed in amusement. Your kind is new to the stars, Captain. You do not understand the cost of defiance. Elena smiled, a chilling expression devoid of humor. Oh, we understand the cost, and we are prepared to pay it. She pressed a button on the device. Holograms filled the chamber, displaying images of human fleets mobilizing. Massive warships, bristling with weapons, emerged from orbital shipyards. Soldiers in advanced combat suits drilled with precision. Automated drones swarmed in vast numbers. The final image lingered on a single phrase painted across the hull of a flagship: Fortis et Liber. This is what you have chosen, Elena said. You wished for war. Now let us show you how it's done. The Yxar delegate scoffed, but there was a flicker of unease in his reptilian eyes. You think your primitive fleets can stand against the might of the Confederacy? Elena's smile widened. You're mistaken if you believe we'll fight like you do. Humanity's approach to war was unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Where other species relied on overwhelming firepower or intricate battle formations, humans embraced adaptability, unpredictability, and relentless determination. They weaponized their ingenuity, turning even the simplest tools into instruments of destruction. Their fleets moved with chaotic precision, outmaneuvering and outthinking their foes. The first engagement was swift and brutal. Yxar fleets met human forces at the edge of the contested sector, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they faced a storm. Human ships deployed decoys, electronic warfare, and unconventional tactics that shattered the Yxar's rigid strategies. In the aftermath, the Yxar flagship drifted in silence, its hull breached and its crew lost. The war escalated. The Yxar unleashed their full might, but humanity responded in kind. Planet-side battles turned into nightmares for the Yxar, as human soldiers used guerrilla tactics and superior logistics to outlast and outwit their invaders. Even when outnumbered, humans fought with a ferocity that left their enemies reeling. Within a year, the Yxar were on the defensive. Within 2, their fleets were in ruins, their territories invaded. The once mighty Confederacy begged for peace. The assembly reconvened to formalize the end of hostilities. The Yxar delegate, now a shadow of his former self, stood before Elena Drake, who had been elevated to admiral. He bowed his head, a gesture of submission. "Humanity," he said, his voice trembling, "we underestimated you. We seek forgiveness." Elena regarded him coldly. "Forgiveness is earned, not given. Rebuild what you destroyed. Compensate the families you left grieving. Only then will we consider forgiveness." The assembly was silent as humanity's terms were accepted. For the first time in millennia, a species had stood against one of the great powers and emerged victorious. The lesson was clear. Humanity was not to be trifled with. As the session concluded, Admiral Drake addressed the assembly one last time. "Let this be a reminder. Humanity desires peace, but we will not tolerate aggression. If you choose war, you will face the full measure of what that means." And so, humanity secured its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as survivors. A species that had mastered war, but sought only peace. A species that had shown the galaxy that sometimes the only path to peace was through fire.